Chetan, we're here at NFTLA. Tell us about how you made your way here to the event.
Absolutely. So just give you a little background on myself. I'm a PhD in AI from UC Berkeley and also neuroscience and perception. And I was super excited by what I was learning, but I was also feeling like what we were learning wasn't being applied to some of the biggest global challenges that I felt needed attention, and climate change being one of them. So the past 10 years I've been worked in a variety of capacities in a variety of different types of roles in the social impact space, the AI space, and the VR space. And I had an idea around using, and Web3 has been a hobby and a passion, and I had an idea about how do we use Web3 to direct more money and interest towards climate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, myself being based in Washington, D.C., there's an enormous number of climate, environmental organizations that are doing good work, and to get the Web3 community involved, especially being a PhD and you're in an area where everyone's trying to figure out how AI is going to help. I'm very interested to follow the path of, it's called Avatree.
Avatree, absolutely.
And so as we dive in here, what's Avatree's website?
It's avatree.xyz. So that's AVATREE.xyz.
Okay. So you and I were talking a little bit yesterday, and I think the reason why we've gravitated towards one another is the social impact, doing good for the earth, doing good for others. Tell us a little bit about your past 10 years in social impact.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working, I started with a company called Play It Forward, it was a way to help people distribute film by essentially paying for their friends or family to watch it. So very simple. If you had people in your audience who are, as a filmmaker, who loved your film, you could use those fans as new ways to monetize and distribute your film. So this was really exciting with documentary filmmakers and things like that. And I've also did another company a few years ago called Unifier around social impact campaigns. So so it's kind of a mixed bag. I think social impact, one of the difficulties is really taking this vision and translating into a business organization, which really has legs. So that's one of my learnings over the past 10 years.
That really speaks to me, and after this, I want to check out some of the work that you've done. Over the pandemic, I produced a documentary series for a nonprofit based in Miami called the Miami Waterkeeper. It was their 10th anniversary, and they had an issue, which is they couldn't get people together in person for their 10th anniversary gala. So instead, they created like a 1-week online intensive of high-quality media campaign. And this was a 3-part documentary series. Each episode was about like 18 minutes or so. And what I did was I curated content that they had over the last 10 years with some new recordings. Some of this content was from National Geographic and PBS, and ultimately it was to raise money to make sure that the water in Florida, specifically in South Florida, Miami, but that water comes from Lake Okeechobee in the middle of the state, and it goes all the way down to Biscayne Bay. And what they work on is to make sure that the water is swimmable, drinkable, and fishable. So when it comes to documentaries, like, I would love to learn more. Is there one documentary in particular that really speaks to your soul in you would like other people to see this and you think it's going to enact change in them to care more about the climate?
That's a great question. My climate journey has been over many, many years, and there have been certain ones. I know for me, like, I think Food Inc. very, very long ago was a really important one. Inconvenient Truth was also a really important one from many years ago. And I think those are both, with Food Inc. is more about agriculture and that practices. And Inconvenient Truth was very pivotal for me. And actually it's related to my journey with Avatree, is that when I watched this almost 15 years ago, it really built the case for why we all need to take action. And at the end of the film, there's like this slide where they talk about how you can take action. And everything they mentioned was just very, very lightweight. You could, take buy new light bulbs for your house. You could maybe vote for someone who's going to, be more climate aware. But apart from that, I felt like there was something missing, that I felt like I wanted to do more, but there wasn't a great way for me to do more.
Okay, so the way that you're doing more now, of all these experiences that you've been contributing to society, now it's the NFT collection. Talk to us about the sprout, the tree,
sure.
the fun part too. The fun part about making a financial contribution in order to help climate.
Sure. Absolutely. So the basic idea is that we want to make climate action fun. We want it to be inspiring. We want it to be community building. And so the way we do this is that our site is called Avatree, kind of like Avatar, but Avatree. Someone comes to our site and they sign up for a monthly subscription of purchasing carbon sequestration credits. That means that they pay about $10 or more per month, and then that money goes straight to people on the ground who are planting trees or crops that sequester carbon in a measurable way. And then they also purchase an Avatree NFT, which is a digital sapling. And as they make their monthly subscription payments, this sapling algorithmically grows into a unique digital tree. And our V2 is that the tree will fruit or mint cryptocurrency each month that can be used for rewards with brands. So the idea is that we want to create multiple incentives to inspire more people to engage. The first is that you get this NFT that can be your badge of climate action on the internet. You put it on a website, you can put it in your social feed, you can put it in the metaverse. Anyone can click on it and they can see a listing of all the payments you made and all the land that was used for sequestration and all the carbon that was sequestered. Number two is that you earn cryptocurrency each month that can appreciate, can also be used for rewards with brands. Number three is you can even sell your Avatree to other people. So imagine if you buy an Avatree on day one, you cultivate it for a year, it looks really amazing. I come in after a year, I want an amazing looking Avatree like yours, but I don't want to wait a year. I can pay you for your Avatree at a profit, at a premium. So there's ways that we want to empower people to engage in different ways, and in ways that they feel connected and feel incentivized.
So some of the other work that I've been doing, and this is kind of like riffing here on the spot about how we can converge some different communities together and help all ships rise together. In Washington, D.C., every Earth Day, middle of April, I work with the DC Wheels. They describe themselves as the Harlem Globetrotters of skateboarding with the hearts of Mother Teresa. So it's a community activated skateboarding group doing good things, raising money for the kid that has cancer. On Earth Day, it's all about picking up trash on skateboards, on bicycles through the city, and we have so much fun doing it. Now, here's what happened. Jimmy Pelletier, shout out to Jimmy and the DC Wheels. His story back in the day when he was in school, they were doing a trash cleanup, and he's been so active in the community, and then I partnered up with him, and he had the Skateathon, and then we created the Trashathon. Got this domain, trashathon.org, and we've been using it during the Earth Day festivities, picking up trash. Get this message from this team down, actually in Miami as well, called Volunteer Cleanup. They reached out, and they see that you own trashathon.org, we'd like to buy it. What do you want to use it for? We want to do trash cleanups for kids. Like when kids are at school and they raise money by like selling magazines or selling candy for, the team uniform or the field trip. We want kids to be able to raise money by picking up trash and doing good, not by selling more and more tchotchkes or things that people don't actually need. I was like, brilliant. I was like, you don't got to buy it, donate it. Because I had bought the domain name as like a placeholder, for this. And it's like, if we can build a partnership with you and you can help to support and grow the Trashathon, we would love to. So now, with Volunteer Cleanup, and they've been picking up tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of pounds of trash in South Florida, working with them to help take their model and spread it around to other parts of the country. So what I can imagine here in brainstorming out loud, maybe this is not part of version 2, but version 7, is you have a student in middle school or high school, and they want to do good for the earth. And so by picking up trash, the neighbors around them will end up giving them money or directly buying an Avatree for them, because they're like, I would really like to have an Avatree. So as we're here at NFTLA, talk to me about some of the other projects that you have seen, whether you've been inspired by them, you think that it's a fantastic project, regardless if it's in climate or not, and how this community here in Web3 is all about weaving our projects together to do better for the earth, financially for ourselves, our families, and as we all say, WAGMI, we're all going to make it.
Absolutely. I've been so inspired by being down here. I just feel the NFT community, the crypto community is incredibly collaborative in nature, and we see this that alive here. So I've been really inspired by how many people, like in the climate space, I found other projects which are doing some amazing work. Like one of them is by one of the founders of NFTLA itself. His name is Ethan, and I believe his name is Living Tree project. I think that's what it is. And he's doing a really powerful project around where folks buy NFT trees and they actually plant trees in the real world. There's also one by Nicole Buffett, I believe. I think it's something seed, sacred seed. I'm not sure exactly, but we can find it for the show notes. And we just all chatted. It's such a great conversation. How we just want to collaborate and support each other's projects because we all are trying to tackle this really important big problem. And I see that same spirit all throughout with amazing art projects, with amazing video game projects, fashion projects, and there's just a very open culture.
All right. So as we wrap things up, you're an expert in AI. You have a PhD. There's some people out there that are watching this and they want to better understand how is AI a part of NFTs. Talk to us a little bit about that at an elementary level.
Sure.
Those that don't know much about AI.
Yeah. We know AI is just a tool like anything else, and it helps us do new things. It helps us. The idea of AI is that you can have computers do things that felt like they were just biological. So it can understand an image, it can understand sound, it can understand environment, it can learn all these different types of things. And so the question is how do we apply it? And so we can bring that into any domain. We can bring it into NFTs, we can bring it into crypto, we can bring it into classic web stuff. And so the deeper question that I have is, where are we going? What problem are we trying to solve? AI will just allow us to amplify whatever we're doing that much more. So I think it's going to be more and more integrated into more things all across the technical world and in the NFT world as well.
And so, Chetan, how can people follow you personally as well as follow Avatree online through social media?
Sure. So for Avatree, our website is avatree.xyz. That's AVATREE.xyz. Our Twitter handle is _Avatree. So _AVATREE. And then my personal Twitter handle is Chetan _Guevara. So that's CHETAN _GUEVARA.
Chetan, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Keep doing the good work.
Thank you.